Right, so we want to print some ASA, which is, yeah, great, not a problem. The only issue I found, one of the issues I have found is when you go into your filaments and you go, I want to load up some ASA on this filament, you got filament type, and we go, oh, okay, so we can have PLA, ABS, PETG, TPU, PLA, CF, with the CF being carbon fibre, PETG, CF and silk. So there isn't a ASA in there. So my solution, I'm thinking, is going to be the next nearest filament to it is ABS. So I'll show you how I'm going to get around this issue. Right, so we know we can't run ASA per se on the printer because it doesn't have a option to do so, but we can get around that. So what we're going to do is we'll go create new project, and don't bother saving that one. So I've got a car chassis here that I want to print in it, so I'll open that. That sticks that down there. Okay, now since we haven't got that option for ABS, what I've done is I have created a ASA profile but with a ABS tag, basically. So just to give you an idea, if you click on a if you click on the drop down to put a filament in, and we've got a preset that I've allowed here, which is going to be the Flashforge ABS basic. We'll bring that in and then we'll go and edit it. First thing I'll do is I'll rename it just so I know what it, so going forwards I have a reference of what it was as opposed to trying to work with what they've got. So we'll call it ABS basic, and the one I'm using is white, so we'll call it white, so I know then white 2 because it already exists, so we'll call it white 2 so that I know that it's the second profile of what I've used. Sometimes you get different filaments, different colors that although it's the same material, will react slightly different. You may have to be 5 degrees up or down on a temperature or something, so it's handy to have them loaded in if you're using them regular. So that's that saved as that. Then on the filaments, you can put your profile in here so for the temperature maximum and minimum. I'd put that in if you know what it is on your roll. It gives you an idea, it gives you something to work for. I've been printing it to 260 all the way through, so we'll put the temperatures to 260 first layer and other layers. And I've been on a bed temperature. I'm finding 110 degrees. I mean, it's a bit cold at the moment out there, so not 300, that's going to be fun. That's 110 degrees there. So I'll quickly save that bit. And then the next one, this is something that ABS is pretty bad for warping, as is ASA. So, and this is caused by it cooling too quickly. So what I've done is I've just turned the fans to nothing. I'm not running the fans at all, so I don't need it. Obviously the cooling fan for the hot end, which is the small fan on the side, that's running anyway, but the large fan on the front of your machine of the print head is a cooling fan to cool your print. So we'll turn that off so we're not blowing across the print and causing it to warp. Now I had it fail right towards the top layers after it's finished the infill, just as it starts bridging over to put the top layers on. I was like, oh, it keeps failing at the same point every time. And then I come and have a look on here and I notice there's a force cooling for overhangs and bridges. So what I've done is uncheck that and then try it again, and I had a little bit more success. So we'll save that. Okay, so that's that saved. So now we're going to prep it for printing. So we need to, first of all, we need to make sure that we're printing the right filament. So if you right click on your item and go down to where it says change filament, it will then give you your 4 filaments you've got potentially loaded. So we'll go with ABS white 2. That now has turned the 3D object into a green, which corresponds to the green we have over here for the ABS white 2. So that's that done, and then we can slice the plate, and that's sliced quite nicely, and then print plate. Now when we come to print plate, we now can choose our filaments. Now obviously we can't do PLA, no. TPU, no. PLA, no. ABS we can select. Okay, it's ASA, but because we've sliced it in ABS, it thinks it's ABS. We've told it it's ABS, so that's what it will do. And then we can send that to the printer. Oh, hang on a minute, we're obviously got a bit of Wi-Fi running, so we'll uncheck LAN and let's send again. No, it still don't want to send. And we have, unless my printer's logged itself out. Is there? Right, so I've just been down the workshop and it was off of the network. So let's see now, and there we go. Well, I'm doing this video up in the house, in the office, to be fair, because it's a little bit too cold to be using the PC down in the workshop and doing a few videos down there. So I've opted to come into the warmth of the house. Right, so that's now gone down to the printer and we'll see how it goes. So this is the point at which the previous prints have been starting to warp on the area where it is now, the area the same over here, and the end. So it starts to lift from the extremities, and it's normally doing that about now. So we'll see how this goes. It could be that by turning the fan off on the bridging and it not cooling the part down and us maintaining the temperatures, that we could have found a nice little solution, and we can happily carry on and start printing ASA on this machine. Right, so there we go. Printed, complete, no warping. That's a bonus. So 4 attempts, 1 ended in the bin. 4th attempt we actually get it to print without warping. Happy days. Another filament we can print.